Hello everybody, Yoga for Change, I'm Michael. This is a sequence, you can see it as a movement practice, as a mobility practice, something like 12 minutes I believe, focusing on the hips. The main thing in this little practice is release. If you're used to thinking of, oh, I need to stretch more, that's gonna help me. I want you to try and just replace the word stretch with release. Try it for a while. Maybe what you need is not really stretch, but just to let go. If you're someone who trains their legs, either because you have a leg day, you go and you do your squats and your deadlift, lunges, or you go by bicycle to work, or you go jogging, that's great. So you're taking care of that part, you're strengthening the legs, that's very good. And now maybe it's also good to look for the other part, which is letting go, learning to release, and learning to have this release even in your movement. Very important is to move within your movement range. And there are several things in this practice where you have to be very honest, and if there's any pain in the knee, especially in the knee, then you stop and you do less, or you stop completely, and maybe that exercise specifically is just not good for you. So please be honest about that. Take care and hope you enjoy. Good, so let's get started. We start lying on the back, with the knees bent and the feet wide apart. The feet can be not so wide apart, but the feet are as wide as the mat. And you're lying on the back. And first, let's just take a moment and you can feel the ground under your back, under the pelvis. Maybe putting a hand on the belly, a hand on the chest, or otherwise just relaxing the arms on the floor, breathing. Then we're going to start swinging the legs. I just swing them over to the right side. Take a moment, let them sort of relax, arrive there, not rushing it. Maybe they can sink a tiny bit deeper. And then to the other side and also there, relaxing them, letting them sink a little bit deeper towards the floor. Could be that one leg doesn't reach all the way down to the floor. That's fine, but you just give it enough time. And then you do it a little bit more in a flow, swinging the legs from one side to the other. The feet stay on the same place. The feet stay on the ground, and you're rolling on the outer edge, sole of the foot, inner edge of the foot, and then back. You can relax the head if the head wants to roll from side to side. Let it. So the hip joint is getting a really nice, a quite big range of movement, a nice massaging motion, and the pelvis is being pulled into a very gentle twist. And now I use this leg movement to come up. So you swing the legs now to the left side and roll to come up to sitting. I'm using my arms to really come up in the most simple way, the easiest way, organic, using the arms to find my way back into the floor, down to the floor, and then up to sitting. And try and do this and relax the legs and feel the weight of the legs, especially as you come up to sitting. Try and relax both legs into the floor. Imagine the legs are your base and you want to, through the weight, the falling weight of the legs, you can come up to sitting easily. And it helps to also add this rolling from one side to the other of the upper body. Now come to sitting, and we're swinging the legs here as well, and we go into a forward bend. So swing the legs over to the right, and then a forward bend over the right leg, which is bent in a 90-degree angle, and then swinging the legs over the middle, over to the left, forward bending over the left leg. So this is one example where you have to notice if there's pain in the knee, in the leg which you are bending over, the leg that is in front of you, then that definitely means stop. Maybe skip the forward bend or do much less until the pain is gone. Otherwise, if this is okay and you're able to go into this forward bend, what you can do as a next step is to try and go into the forward bend without using the support of the hands. So now I'm just extending the arms backwards. You can do whatever little arm choreography you come up with and use less of the support of the arms. Now I'm really not using the hands at all, just keeping my arms up in the air. And now using the legs, of course, more to get out of the forward bend and control my way into it. So now we're going into the squatting position. I'm going to demonstrate doing it with using 2 blocks. We're going to stay for about a minute and a half. So in case you cannot do that without some support, then find something. It can be a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, can be even something higher that you can just simply sit on. And I'm also showing here from the front that the foot and the leg are sort of in agreement. They have one direction, the foot and the leg on the right side and then on the left side. So noticing the alignment of the foot and leg. It could be that it will be difficult for you to keep a long spine, that you'll find yourself rounding the spine. What I would suggest is then sitting a little bit higher. And then we just spend some time here. So the feet are grounded. There's a little bit of support under the sit bones. So basically we're sitting. The arms are between the legs. I have contact. I'm pressing a little bit, the arms and the legs against each other. And I try to keep a long spine, imagining that the chest is sort of lifting, pulling up, or the spine lengthening up through the top of the head. Giving it time and staying in this position. Quite a deep bend, folding in the hip joints. Notice the breath. Maybe there's a little bit of movement together with the breath. And now we're going to go from the squatting position into the forward bend and back into squatting. So I'm just sitting on my blocks, lifting the chest, and then exhaling into the forward bend. The hips come up, the head goes down. So switching the roles, hips and head every time. Inhaling, squatting, exhaling, forward bending. And I'm not even trying to fully stretch my legs. I'm more focusing on keeping the thighs very close to the upper body, to the rib cage, to the belly as I go into the forward bend. Not really fully stretching the legs. I'm going to show, in case you feel confident enough to do it without the blocks, then squatting, and then forward bending, you can change the position of the feet so that they are parallel to each other. And maybe then you want to start and stretch the legs a bit more. So that's another option of doing it without a support. Squatting, lifting the chest, inhaling, exhaling, forward bend. And then stay in the forward bend, feet wide apart, and swing a little bit from side to side. Knees bent, that's important when you do this. And swinging from side to side, maybe you also let the arms swing freely or grab the elbows together. And then you'll feel also the weight of the arms. Keep the knees bent. And now we're going to roll up, breathing in, standing, exhaling, rolling back down. So, and then inhaling, pulling the chest forward, exhaling, rolling up. So rounding the spine to roll down, bending the knees as well, then lengthening the spine, chest pulling forward, and then rounding the spine to come up. It's like a kind of a wave movement. And you bend the knees so that the pelvis is free to be part of this movement, of the spine movement, of rolling up and rolling down. It's really the head and the pelvis doing the same thing at once, sort of curling in, spine rolling in, and then just a moment of lengthening the spine when you're down there in the forward bend. And then one more thing, we roll down again. And now we're going to go a little bit higher. So you can think of this as like a little mini deadlifts, just lengthening the spine, lifting the chest, just so that the chest is a little bit higher than the hips. And then letting go and coming all the way down and then rounding the spine. So inhaling, lifting the chest, lengthening the spine, exhaling all the way down, and at the end of the movement, rounding the spine. So when you come up, it's important that the spine is long, not round. Good. Shake a little bit the legs. And we are going to dance a little bit. So first, bend a little bit the knees, again, so that the pelvis is really free to move in all directions. And I'm moving the pelvis, tilting it forward to the side and then backwards. So if you have your hands on the hips, it's also easier to understand sort of what you're doing and control it a bit. Maybe first you kind of try and be clear about the directions, and then you can just play with it. It's just tilting the pelvis forward, sit bones pointing back, then tilting it to one side, and then tilting it backwards. That means that the tailbone sort of points forward, and then tilting it to the other side. So you're circling the pelvis. And then really just have fun with it. Just, let the spine move together with the pelvis. Maybe put on some music. Good. Especially the men out there, this is your homework. You have to do this. Now we're going to swing the legs. And I wish I started here with a smaller movement. So you can start smaller. You don't have to start with such a big leg movement. Swing the leg back and forth. If you need to hold something to keep the balance, then grab a chair or something, hold something, and just swing the legs. Otherwise, to balance on one leg can be quite interesting. It's a very interesting task for the standing leg. And the other leg is just having fun. It's just free. Now, instead of swinging back and forth, make sure you have space around you. That's also important. Instead of swinging back and forth, you're going to swing, and imagine the knee is drawing something like an 8 shape, the shape of an 8, something like that. So it's sort of like swinging it inward, up, and then back and a little bit out. One leg and then the other. Again, I'm doing the movement sort of big. You can start small. It doesn't have to be big. The point is that the leg that is swinging is really free. You really feel the weight of that leg and you really swing it around in all directions. The standing leg has to take some responsibility for the stability of the whole thing. Good. And we only have one more thing left for this little hip practice, and that's just rolling up into a shoulder bridge. So maybe first shake the hips or repeat this circling, dancing of the hips. This time, instead of standing, you're lying down on the mat. And then you're gonna arch the back, inhale, and then exhale, flatten the lower back, and from there start lifting the pelvis up and let the spine follow, roll up into a shoulder bridge. And then in the shoulder bridge, you can inhale and press the arms down to lift the chest, and exhale, roll back down. And then again, arching the spine, inhale, exhale, roll up, inhale, press the arms down, exhale, roll down. Inhale, arch the back, the lower back, exhale, roll up. Inhale, press the arms down, exhale, roll down. And just repeat this a few times. This is stretching the front of the hips. It's also activating the glutes, the hamstring, the backside of the legs. The lower back you can also feel that the lower back is activated there. You can also take the feet together. That's you'll feel that it's a little bit more challenging. And you can also play with maybe rolling up only with one leg. You can take one ankle on the thigh so that you only have one foot on the ground, and then use that only that one leg to roll up. So that's activating, of course, even more the glute and the backside of the leg. So I hope this short little practice helped to let go mostly, and to feel the really great, really amazing movement potential that the hips have, and that you can explore that potential very well, in a very nice way if you learn to move with ease and to move in an easy, relaxed way. That's also why we are using the floor so much, because the floor helps us to relax and to let go. Have a great day. Take care of your hips. Make sure they stay happy.